Today we're going to be talking about how to deal with other people's clutter. And this is a subject that I know very well because my ancestors were very messy and were hoarders. And also because I gravitate towards the people that have the opposite type of personality as me, because they balance me out and we work well together. So, in other words, they're a lot messier than me, and they're not rigid, and they're open-ended, which I really like, because I am organized and rigid. This applies to everything, including the way that I think, which causes me to sometimes make generalizations or causes me to miss things. When you are open-minded and laid back and easygoing, now this may cause some living problems because things are just falling aside, but it provides an open-mindedness towards everything they encounter, including their thought processes, which gives me a lot of clarity because their thoughts are often even more broad than my thinking. So I really value people that are laid back because they have so much to bring to the table. It's just that everyone's always focusing on the external. In the external world, they're a little bit messy. So today we're going to talk about how to deal with other people's clutter, which is a very important topic in minimalism, so let's get right into it. The very first tip is to make sure that everything in your house is organized strategically. You have organized your house with intelligence, intention. Remember, efficiency, minimalism is all about intention. It applies to everything, all aspects of your life. What you read, down to the things you keep in your home. It's about being intentional. So, are the things put back in a place that is easy for everybody to put things back, or are they scattered everywhere? How you know this is if you're picking up after your spouse and kids. If you're going to a bunch of different drawers trying to put everything away, it's probably not easy for your spouse or kids to put things back either. So you want to consolidate where they're putting everything back, so that when they don't put things back as well, when you have to put it back, then you can just grab everything in a basket or fill your hands, which is a really good tip, is to make sure that your hands are full whenever you're leaving a room. But when you fill up your hands, you're going to an area and you're putting everything back all at one time. You're not having to open up a ton of drawers. When I'm putting away my kitchenware, I am going to very few drawers because everything is consolidated. That's the beauty of minimalism. So definitely make sure everything is organized so it's easy to put back, not to take out. It's always harder to put things back than it is to take it out. The very next tip that I have is that all healthy relationships in this world are built on love and respect. Now that's an oversimplified view, but it's a good thing to keep in mind because it's so easy to forget. Lead by passion, inspiration. Lead by ways that will uplift those people as much as possible. Now there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees that if you lead by example, other people are going to follow. But there's no guarantee for leading by control or any other method either, so it's still worth a try. At least do something without a bunch of negative repercussions. So the very next tip is to understand your partner or your kids. That is the biggest and highest form of love, is to understand somebody, their motivations, their desires, their fears, because they feel truly loved for who they truly are. And a lot of times we don't want to understand people because it will get in the way of how they're going to serve us, or it's going to get in the way of how we think things should be. So we don't care to understand people. We only care to understand them in hopes of changing them or in hopes of making them what we think they should be. But that's why I really stress going to outside arenas, that you can find what is the healthiest for each individual. You want to make sure that you're healthy first, because again, we're trying to lead by example. Therefore, I really recommend the personality types using the Enneagram. It's not a positive book. It's not a happy book in any way. It's not a spiritual book. It's a very honest and unbiased look. And when it comes to yourself, you can't have enough unbiased opinions, because dealing with yourself is probably the hardest work you'll ever do in this life, because you'll never be more biased than when dealing with yourself. So you need as much unbiased, objective opinions as possible. Read everything with a grain of salt, but honestly, read it with thinking, is this me? And use this for yourself, because again, we're leading by example. We're not trying to force other people. So you might skip to the other person and read what they are like, but we're trying to figure out what is healthy for you. So when you are healthy, then you are best able to bless other people and to also live with peace of mind and to understand others. Because every personality type, when they are healthy, they are being kind to others and compassionate and understanding. You don't know what something means to somebody because you don't know what their personality type is yet, probably. So you don't know what things mean to them, what clutter means to them, what anxieties, what procrastinations, what fears they've put on books, or they've put on makeup, or they've put on all the stuff they collect. You don't know what they're putting on that. So you don't want to just start throwing things out. Instead, you want to encourage health and be healthy yourself. And the very next thing is that certain personality types are better adjusted towards organization on the Myers-Briggs. So if you're familiar with the Myers-Briggs, a lot of J's, like me, are very organized, structured, and they like stability, and they like measurable milestones. That's just how they operate. And so it can cause anxiety to other people that are perceivers because they live laid back and go with the flow, and a lot of men are perceivers. So oftentimes opposites attract, and it is up to you to remember the positives of each side. So if you look at a J like myself, they're more rigid and they're more organized, but those are the positive sides of that. They are more anxious and they are more demanding. Now a P is more laid back, and so the downside of that side is that they are just going to shave their beard, and there's going to be clippings in the sink. They're going to leave mugs all around the counter, and you're thinking, how can somebody do this? Or the trash is supposed to be getting taken out, but it's not getting taken out on the right day. That's because they're laid back. Deadlines and milestones are the J's personality type. That's what's easy for them to do. And so you should be taking on those tasks that have deadlines so that you're not constantly nagging and eroding at respect of people. Work with your personality types. P's are laid back and enjoyable to be around. So remember the reasons why you were drawn to them. Their easygoing nature, their open-mindedness. P's are often even more objective than J's because they're not tied to outcomes. They're not trying to get to a milestone. So they're even more objective. So remember the things that you liked about them. So instead of always focusing on the negatives of each type of personality, start to study them and really hone in on the positives and work with the positives, and the negatives will become almost inconsequential. The last thing I want to say is that most people get into minimalism because they want autonomy. They want to find meaning. They want to spend more time with others. And scientists, psychologists, philosophers all agree that happiness is our relationships with others, making sure that they're healthy. Therefore, we need to be healthy ourselves. But minimalism very much focuses on that aspect, that life is not about things. And so we can get so caught up on the details. We can get so caught up on our spouse isn't making us happy, and we focus on all the negatives that we lose track of why we even got into this. Got into minimalism because we wanted to improve ourselves and our relationships with others. Now, I'm not trying to diminish the complexity of human relationships. I know that there's mental illness, and I know that there are lots of different personality types. Therefore, you have to tread lightly and try to be compassionate, and remember that relationships are about respect and love, respecting the other person, the things that are important to them, and the things that their fears and their anxieties, and making sure that they feel loved. And the main goal is not downsizing to 100 things. The main goal is to make the place more harmonious. And if we've made the external world more harmonious, but everything internally is combusting, our relationships and everything, we're going backwards. Make sure you don't lose sight of what really matters in life as you're decluttering, and then that will help you to be more compassionate and understanding, which will really help your peace of mind. So it really helps you too. I hope you guys enjoyed this Sunday video, and if you did, definitely give it an upvote, and I will see you guys next time. If you guys haven't added me on Facebook or Instagram, definitely give me an ad, and I will see you guys all in there as well. But I will see you guys next Sunday in the next organization video. Cat is a very J cat. She likes things to be structured. For instance, the food needs to be dispensed at a certain exact time every day. Hi, Pat. What a beautiful cat.